Hello everybody, I'm Conquering History Games and welcome to the channel. This is an unusual video. This is basically a pseudo standalone video that is part of my Kasa Free State campaign in Hearts of Iron 4 Equestria at War, but I'm going to be taking a series of these historical decisions and just reading them. This is essentially an audiobook episode. Go check out my reading of the Communist Manifesto when I hit 5,000 subscribers for another example of that. Of course, I'm not doing it in a unventilated bathroom now, so I shouldn't be sweating constantly. So let's get reading this. And so from here on, I'm just going to read it straight through, probably no commentary, and I'll try to remember to timestamp each of these down below because I'm really enjoying the lore of this. And then the next part of my Kasa series will be called Part 2, even though this is the second video. So let us get started. Memorandum about the Remembrance of Sokka. Kasa's people are taught their history through the Remembrance of Sokka. It is a long and winding tale that recounts their past, beginning with the Davish slave revolt at the behest of their national hero, Akiku Sokka. They are taught not only this, but it is created in the same sense as you would expect a song or poem in verse. The residents of Kasa do not only know the words, but know how to sing it. Every citizen is taught this, and the Remembrance of Sokka is constantly having things suggested to be added to it. Only when the Council of Elders, residing in Ilha-Roska, decrees a new verse is something officially added. Recent examples of this was the introduction of Chapter 30 in 1003, originally written and submitted by the famed poet Altu Keksa. While citizens are not officially required to memorize it, it is required to pass basic history schooling within the realm of Kasa. It is also the best introduction for foreigners to learn Kasa's history as told by the Kasans. The history itself is only written down in a single place, on clay tablets displayed at the Grand Remembrance Hall housed inside the Maroon Davash in Ilha-Roska's harbor. From there, it is recounted to children and adults by oral tradition. Only those who can repeat the remembrance from memory are allowed to become leaders of Kasa. Reader, beware. Treat the remembrance of Akeku as a form of both history and myth. For only those present during those times know what the truth is behind this recorded history. Furthermore, this is a roughly translated version, understanding that it is not officially spoken nor written anywhere in Ponish. This is simply what our diplomats and translation bureau has managed to create for you to read. Signed, Lecturer Top Marks. I love this already. Okay. The history of the Kasa Free State, 752 to 754. Akeku's Revolt. Remembrance of Sokka, Chapter 1, verses 1 through 14. Upon the open oceans so vast did the vessel ride called Davash. Its purpose was truly something to revile, for within its hold did slaves endure a trial. The whips cracked, but no one would break Akeku, his name spoken in desperate whispers, Akeku, set to be executed upon a block upon the morning dew. The slaves said no and rose with a voice of a coup. Slavers' blood ran into the blue. Akeku Soka, we raise our voices thanks to you. With a single act of righteous defiance, we would forge a lifelong alliance. Sing it all loud so the world may know of our freedom earned through blood, sacrifice, and the work our hooves sow. Thank you, Akeku. Sorry, I'm not going to sing it. I have no idea what the melody is. The history of the Kasa Free State, 754, founding of Ilha-Roska. Chapter 4, verses 7 through 21. Taught how to properly sail and repair our ship, we thanked those of Makawia as we set on our trip. Without Makawia, we would be long gone, lost to the waves and winds broad. Just as the sun's beauty is lost from dusk to dawn, with fish and kelp we caught, the winds steered us to what we sought. a land to call our own as we tied the rope knot. It is there we were reminded upon a map that we were but a dot. There we were hardened and prepared to fight for our lot. The Devash arrived upon the shores of Kasa with haste, teaching us it is not the tool but those who use it that determine a place. Our hooves upon dry land, so we took to prepare our new space. We were not sure of anything, save for our freedom's grace. A home they were ready to embrace. The history of Kasa Free State 806, the end of piracy. Chapter 6, verses 22 to 24. The year was 753, and the conditions were not something we could not prepare. The winter so harsh that not could hope the land would be fair. The Devash, damaged as it was our only shelter to hold ourselves together. Akiku Soka sought to each and every one, hoof and claw, fur and feather. Through all of this we found our lives full of fight in the cold weather. We had not realized this land would be so difficult and freedom so tenuous. Though our leaders' words, our different people's wisdom, we found solace. Not just solace would do, but sustenance and subsistence brought us through the awfulness. With the spring thaw came Akeku's resolve. He would not allow our people to be fractured and dissolved. Despite starvation, creatures of death and bitter cold, together we found ourselves unbreakable and bold. With each other, regardless of origins, we could face anything to unfold. With this new song, our hearts rose to the call, our bonds now paroled. For our people were something new, something truly different to behold. Makawian received our news, our signal of a household. With that came hundreds of laborers, our turn to become saviors. Hundreds of recently freed arrived, singing sanctuary. We turn none away, we wish only to be a golden monastery. A true place for all those harmed by war, greed, and chains. Kasa was to become a place where they could all overcome their pains. Pains we must never forget, lest our nation wanes. Refuge for new beginnings. The history of Kasa Free State, 872 to 873, the Ophiuchus Crusade. A storm of fire and steel, chapter 9, verses 8 through 27. A storm of fire and steel marched towards our deck. The stage was set. The griffins simply would not respect. Our nation was now beset with conflict. Knights ordered to come tame us, just another word for enslave. Our nation would not cave. Sonora Pawn rose our banner. It was she, descendant of Akeku, who became first commander. With sticks of fire and weapons of steel they marched. Their armor stopped our spears and blades, while theirs left our wounded scorched. A crisis of faith fell upon the ground. Morale shattered by those conquistadors' talons that sought to push us around. This was our first test against Griffonia's best. We were so pressed, yet our resolve did not break when stressed. We accepted the sacrifice we must make to corner these knights and force them to break. Deep in the forested mountains we placed our lure. In their eagerness for a victory our trap was obscure. Nearly to the last the knights fought and died. So few were they to remain, our resolve overcoming their pride. Despite Sonora's offer of parley, they would not stop and break our barley. With a heavy heart and a great burden, we traded their lives for ours, our solace in ending agony, to be interred. At the hill of Eberron, Kasa was made. This is great. Love it. The history of Kasa Free State, 873, the Battle of Eberron. Sonora's Stand, chapter 13, verses 1 to 43. Oh boy, I need water. The knights of Griffonia were not the only threat we would face, for upon the shores of Kasa laid another problem with our race. Unicorns to the north, and deer of Austerland to our east prepared their mace. Both seek to return us to the chains we refuse to embrace. Though now a new generation did not know this grace, they had yet to have their spirits put to the flame to keep their birthplace. Sonora Pawn, now old and frail, picked up her banner without hesitation. 107 answered her call to their nation. They felt such a great shame upon seeing this frustration. They painted their armor black, crest of broken chains emblazoned upon their breast. In the year of 905, the soldiers of Kasa, 107 in number, rose to face this foul pest. They would face an army of 40,000, an army of the century to our behest. Sonora Pond knew none can stop them, not with all of Kasa to protest. With impassable mountains to the east and forsaken marsh to the west, the Black Watch would face down the betrayer. An instrument from Zebrica, ancient and old, resounded from a player. Sonora knew the cost of this, and did not back down nor give ground. On this day Austerland would know our power renowned. Again and again the Austerlands more elite would charge, only to have their blood run into the river like a scourge. With a single swing of her sword, Sonora slew a helmed deer, showing her orders to those both far and near. Austerland could only watch in horror, as the warriors of Kasa hammered them into mortar, the ever-growing wall of bodies turning the river into more blood than water. 17 the number of days the didgeridoo blew. 17 the number of days Sonora and her rabble came through. No victory could be won, not with so very few, but upon Sonora's honor the deer would fear her name. They would come to fear Kasa's flame. Griffin, zebra, pony, and even an harpy would not tame. The sacrifice would not go unheard. Half of the Austerland army would be laid lame. 3 scholars did escape, recording the tale and sharing of our warriors' acclaim. News of this last stand woke deep within our new generation, a flame from within the bones of their ancestors' bastion. Together the horns of rage sounded, and from Sonora's sacrifice a coalition. Makawia sent us aid. We were no longer zebra, pony, nor changeling partition. On that day our people became Kasa, in body, mind, and soul. Regardless of claw, hoof, wing, horn, or feather, we all had but one goal, but to see any enslaver expelled from our shoal. It was their finest hour. Wow. History of Kasa Free State, 905, the Makawian Treaty. Kasa is where hope lives, chapter 17, verses 14 through 29. The bitter fighting over, our liberty won. There was still so very much work to be done. Though the battles may have gone into the sun, the threat would rise again with sword and gun. From our ancient alliance with Makawia, more flocked to our home. We could not turn them away, not one would be sent into the sea's foam. While the world turned them away to roam, Kasa would see to it they could find a shalom. Those who seek refuge came with skills and talent, artisans of masterpiece, laborers of engineering, scientists of university, and soldiers so gallant. All who came to our shores find a place to inherit, not one is ever turned away, no matter their previous merit. If you accept into your heart to be a creature of Kasa in spirit, this is our only law for you to uphold and present. For then you can wield the banner of Kasa to present for all our people to see and supplement. Haven for all. The history of Kasa Free State, 905 to 909, the Austerland invasion. The threat of slavery never dies, chapter 22, verses 9 through 28. Many seek our bounty and wish to seize our people's will. For this all will learn the soldier's skill. Let our memory simply be a set of ruins and skulls. Take this to your heart and never allow chains to be leveled. Even upon others your flame must be stoked in rebellion. There is a great fear others will jealously steal your heaven. If you ever forget history's lesson or allow your resolve to be in question. The Elysium seeking to bind us to our whims has through spirits of darkness shackling our limbs. We must never allow them to gain even a single one of their stings, lest they use it to pull our lives into their enslaved strings. The Austerland, embarrassed by their defeat, see us as nothing but a baby with a treat. They decry our brothers and sisters in barriers of concrete. They must know the release that we breathe with each heartbeat. From the reaches far and wide we seek emancipation. To Kasa, to allow even one to be chained in domination is an affront to all we have endured for our nation. Prepare yourself and never allow your efforts end till the slavery's secession and freedom's sacred cause. The history of Kasa Free State, 915, birth of the Scapatoria program. Even the smallest candle in the night, chapter 27, verses 21 through 35. Kasa is far too small since its gestation. Without allies we would fall in agitation. Through this we must remember our mother Makawia's generosity, even in the face of all our enemies' ferocity. We owe a debt to them for all our prosperity, with their greatest kindness never requiring the debt's reciprocity. Within the darkness of night, even the smallest candle bears light. With the most terrible blight, we walk through with our true might. All those that would seek to destroy us for spite will feel our wrathful smite. Keep this in mind when you see those with robes of white. For they do not know the darkest of night. They are those who worship evil's power and seek to do its plight. They should know we will let no evil escape our sight, for Kasa shines brightest in the depths of midnight. Shines brightly. The history of Kasa Free State, 967, Barad Crisis. There is a place in those mountains. Chapter 29, verses 1 through 21. There is a place long lost to the mountain, a place across the river where Sonora did battle at a fountain. Austerland nor Kasa knows its true location. Austerland would rather Sonora's stand be forgotten. Kasa knows that you cannot bury the truth, for within history there is no greater sleuth. One day we shall prove our history to the youth, to hunt for the place where Sonora took Austerland's fury, to show them the true anger of Kasa's misery, and beset it upon them as they sought to steal our liberty. We must never forget this sacrifice from antiquity. The mages in the mountains of madness seek to deliver upon us unwelcome sadness. They believe in a way that is tilted in opposition to our axis. Somehow that unicorns are of a superior status. We launch across the border to steal from this insanity those who are bound do not know their equanimity. They will not believe you. They declare what you say a profanity. Yet so many crossed with us joined Kasa and restored their sanity. Resist the call of rules, resist the call of enslavement, resist the call of madness. Never let Kasa's joy be taken from you. Never lose your gladness. The history of Kasa Free State, 968, the Mansu era. For many, Kasa was our house. I don't know, by the way, I don't know if it's actually pronounced Kasa, but I think it's for the pun here. Chapter 30, verses 1 through 25. From the Adra River to the mountains of madness, to the shores of Devash, Eberron Hill of Sonora's stand, to the islands of Ilhas. All of this place is Kasa, down to the bones of ash. We till the land and surge the seas despite the world's backlash. Raise never to hoof, talon, claw, nor wing to those within our cache. Many would seek to tear us down, to reduce our dream to naught but ash. For this is why you wear your warrior's sash, your farmer's plow, your fisherman's rod. These are the pieces that we build our lands abroad. Within our home no fear shall dare to trod, for we will face it with a guffaw. Look to your neighbors, look to your elders, provide them with shelter, for in your time of storm you will be given the same cellar. This is our greatest law to be decreed, something we pass to our successor, that none will ever be left out in the hurricanes of terror. Keep your remembrance, mind your history. Within it you can home to spread our lessons of ministry. Let none ever be lost to noble pillory, all should hear our songs upon wings of liberty. For together, united as one, can we hope to achieve victory. We are Kasa, our home is Kasa, Kasa is our souls. Let the souls of those past be proud to see our goals. This remembrance I do sing, let my voice create a wellspring, that with a single broken ensnaring sling can we cause liberty to ring. But our Avo made it a home for all. Was that sling at the end a reference to David and Goliath? Nice. Okay, well that's it. That seems to be all the history decisions. That was amazing, amazing work. Whoever wrote that, whoever conceptualized it, that's terrific. You're going to go make me read El Cid again. It's been a while since I sat down and read some epic poetry, historical poetry. Love it, love it, love it. So, this is a standalone video. But if you want to watch the series, I'm going to probably have a link. Probably I'll put a card in the corner or something, or an end card, whatever, to my Kasa Free State campaign. And wow. I don't know what path I'm going to go down, but whatever frees all the slaves everywhere forever, we're going to go down that one. There better be one. As difficult as that very well might be. But thanks for joining me on Conquering History Games. I hope you enjoyed that reading. And yeah, I will see you all hopefully in that Kasa Free State video. Please subscribe if you haven't already, ring the bell so you'll be notified about any videos, and click my links down in the description below.